I suppose I'm a fair weather rider. It's raining a lot outside, so I'm not gonna go out. I'm instead gonna try installing a spark arrestor on my dirt bike. I have a YZ250 dirt bike. I went online and tried to find the least expensive spark arrestor that would work. I landed on this LEXX XC that looks to work with a 2006 to 2011 YZ250 or a 450. This is a 2006. Here's what comes with the LEXX XC spark arrestor. You have the actual end cap, the spark arrestor. It's got a couple of these end pipes. One's smaller or provide more silence, and then a bigger one and the actual end cap. The thing that surprised me was, maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but it actually had some of the rivets that can be used. You still need the rivet gun, but it has those and then a couple of the screws. I already went through the removal. I have a separate video on how to do that, on getting rid of those rivets. And here's what's on the inside. Pulling out the instructions, it's pretty good. Just a one-pager, has everything you need, and the required tools. I had almost everything I needed. I'm going to use this mallet instead of the hammer, and I did have to buy the rivet gun. I didn't have one of those. Here I'm taking the existing padding out of the, I'm just going to use this screwdriver, pop it out. I already started to make it easier. I'm going to take this out. This isn't in the instructions, but I figured I would go ahead and do this. It's a little dirty, but we'll go ahead and add that one in. Alright, that was extra. Probably could have used a new one, but I'm just going to reuse what I had. The instructions suggest using a contact cleaner. I've looked at this and it's going to be a tight fit. This is already pretty clean. I know it would probably be more helpful, but I'm going to forego actually adding the contact cleaner. This is going to be such a tight fit. You can see I'm just placing it on here. How tight, you know, it's one of those where it's been banged up a little bit, so it's going to be tough to get on. I'm going to be using my mallet to get that on, and once it goes on, it's not coming off, that's for sure. I'll put a little of that silicone on there, high temperature silicone on there, and then make sure it lines up right in here. Alright, here is some of that high temperature silicone that I'm going to just put a bead around it. Okay. I got to work around the disfiguration in the canister. It's not coming out. I'm going to wipe off this extra silicone. Okay, the next step is taking a 3/16 drill bit, drill through the existing markings or holes that are already in there in the canister. I went ahead and drilled through 1, 2, 3, 4. There's still 4 left. It was harder than I thought to get through that aluminum with my titanium bits, but made it through. Now I'm going to try putting in one of the rivets. These are the ones that they actually provided, and I'm going to try these with my rivet gun. I'm going to try just setting these in here. These are going to be tight with 3/4. I might need to hammer these in a little bit. This is where I actually need a real hammer, not my mallet. Let me get a real hammer. Now that I've drilled my 3/16 holes, I'll use some of these rivets. Use the rivet gun on the rivet. Get it in there. I'll take it back. The hardest part of this whole thing was drilling these holes. That was the hardest part. I think we're past that now. I'm going to do a dab of silicone here and here a little bit to help with the vibration. I'll put this in here. It's got a nice little groove in there. And I'm going to actually install the smaller of the two. There's 2 of these. I'm going to do the sound reducing one. Just gonna Arrestor on there and place it over. Get this in here. Alright, we've got our LEXX XC spark arrestor end cap installed on the YZ250. I'm going to finish adjusting, getting everything screwed back in, and then try starting it up and seeing how it sounds. After I put the plastic on, I realized, what am I going to do with this other one? And I had the thought, I'm just going to put it on here, add it with it here, so just store it on the bike itself so I don't have to store it separately. And if it doesn't work, I'll just remove it if it bounces too much, but I'm going to put it back on. And there are 3 washers that weren't in the parts list that came with this, and I'm going to add those on it too. Looks a little silly, but I've got both of them on there, the smaller one and the bigger one. Fire her up and see how she sounds. Teeny's